Well, howdy do, buckaroos. How the heck are you? Well, happy New Year, y'all. This is Tony Beer Whisperer. I'm being joined by Todd Wren from Indiana. So, Todd, I want to tell a quick story. Well, I'm going to try to make it quick anyway. Then we'll get into New Year's. So I was telling you off camera that my wife and I hadn't gone out for New Year's in over 10 years, or well, actually in 10 years exactly. And the reason for that is. New Year's Eve, 2006, we decided to go out. We actually got us a hotel room with the kids. We had the kids with us. We got a hotel with the pool so they could relax and swim. And so, anyways, that was fun. But then, about, I don't know, can't remember if it was 2 or 3 weeks later, we had a massive ice storm here in Springfield, Missouri. And to make a long story short, about I think it was about 5 days after the initial storm, we have an older house and it had overhead copper pipes. And being without power for a week, the pipes burst and the inside of our house was completely destroyed. And we were out of our house for 6 months. So we decided we were never going to go out on New Year's again. So anyway, so we didn't up until this year. Reconnected with an old friend who happened to be well, he was Seamus's godfather, and we hadn't heard from him in a few years, and so we talked, and he came down, and so yeah, we just we went over our daughter Callista's. They had kind of an open house at their house, so we spent a little bit of time there. Then we just kind of went bar hopping. We
Well, that's
started
cool.
at we started at Mother's Brewery and then hit several other joints. So tell us about your New Year's. Your wife do anything?
No, well, she had to work this weekend, so that
Tell
kind
you
of
what I'm about to pour here. Oh no,
put
she had
us
to
out.
work.
Yeah, so she had to work today, so we and usually last couple of years went over to one of our neighbors, and but they were out of town. They were actually the kids are on winter break, so they actually went out of town for the week, and so it's just kind of a mild night at home. I just stayed home and popped a couple beers, and my daughter had a friend spend the night, and
Oh nice.
just sat and watched the ball drops. First time probably in 15 years, I probably didn't actually either go to somebody's house or go out and do something.
Well,
So
sometimes
just kind of
we'd actually enjoyed staying home over the last few years, but last New Year's was kind of rough. We had some things went down that made it difficult, so we decided we just needed to get out of our comfort zone and do something different this year. So hey, I just found
yeah.
this yesterday. It's the uh, Schlafly from the Ibex cellar. They're barrel aged Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels, 10.2%, 40 IBUs. And I've already had a couple of these. It comes in a 4 pack. It's about $17 for the 4 pack of 11.2 ounce bottles. So it's not cheap, but if you break it down, it basically works out to about 850 a bomber. If these were sold in bombers, you'd be paying about 850 a bomber. So the question would be, would you pay 850 for 22 ounces of a 10.2% Imperial Stout?
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good deal. Really, break it down that way.
And I drank one yesterday. I drank one earlier today, and the beer is just amazing. It is just phenomenal.
Excuse
But
me.
you
Well,
said
you
you
wouldn't expect anything less from Shafley, would you?
no, they do some. I guess basically, I read an article on it. Basically, said they're trying to do more out of the box stuff. Schlafly's really known for just doing solid beer, but they don't do a whole lot way out of the box.
They probably figure they gotta try to keep up with some of the other breweries that are doing. They almost get too crazy and just do nothing but out of the box.
So, but you get Schlafly in your neck of the woods, right?
Yeah, we usually get pretty much everything. It seems like it comes about a month after I see you posting something about drinking one of them. So this one will probably hit at the end of January, probably, I would say. Hopefully, anyway. I seen on their webpage that it was coming out, so I was kind of excited and hoping that we get it.
Oh yeah. Let me show you the. Comes in this container, and it's got a little story about what the Ibex cellar is. It's a little room they've got there. Oh shit! I just lost my camera. Darn it.
I was gonna say you just went to your background
Yeah.
or
Oh,
whatever.
I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's been popping on and off, and I don't know. Anyways, apparently it's not going to cooperate with me today.
It was kind of making it look a flashing on my screen. I don't know. It was like
Yeah, I don't know what the
making
heck.
weird.
I had it working. I tested it. It has been giving me trouble, but every once in a while I can get it going. So I tested it before we started this thing, and everything was working fine. And then now it just popped off on me again. You little sucker. Well, you're not going to be able to look at me. It's a good beer. So now the folks can see you, though. So talk about whatever you're drinking.
I am popping open. I picked up the 12-pack Boulevard tasting room box about a week ago, and I am drinking the Rosemary IPA.
Is this the first one of them you've had?
It is.
I got to tell you, I love that beer. I really did.
It kind of pours a golden, kind of an amber color almost. It's hard to get the picture there. You can't really tell, but kind of an amberish color to it. Wasn't a whole lot of head to it. It dissipated pretty quickly. Has a nice smell, a nice aroma to it, though. It's definitely get some of the flowery, I guess the rosemary flavor scent to it. Kind of some of your kind of get a little bit of grapefruit or tangerine type notes to it. Nice. It's a good tasting beer. It's put together pretty good. I'd say medium to about a medium body. Nice finish to it. Not overly hoppy. I don't know what the numbers are on it, but
yeah, it's got some nice malt. I like that one because it's a little different. It's got a lot of nice malt to it.
6% ABV and 59 IBUs. So
Yeah.
not overly bitter.
No, not at all.
And I've got 14 days to drink the other two, or they're just gonna completely just fall apart.
Yeah,
drink by January 15th.
That's a nice set, isn't it? I mean, that milk stout in that pack was phenomenal too.
Yeah, that was good. And this rosemary, of course, that's the reason I bought it was for those two. I found it on sale for $13.99 at a Meijer grocery store here, and typically they were selling them for $16.99. So I don't know what you paid for them, but I thought $13.99 for that 12 pack was a pretty good price.
I think I paid $14.27.
And you can't go bad with the 80 acre and the pale ale that came in it too. Those are solid ones as well. I like the 80 acre. Also,
yeah, the hoppy wheat. Yeah, it's a good summer beer, and their pale ale is very solid.
Yeah. So I mean, for that price, and I already talked about the Rosemary IPA, so I was very intrigued about that one, and the milk stout one in it too was very good. It was an excellent one. Also, I have had one of those. So
yeah, that milk stout was. I like that milk stout. It was done well. I like to see it come out in 6-packs.
Yeah, that one and this rosemary, from what I can, for the first one I've cracked in the first couple of drinks, I like it. It is different. Not your typical tasting IPA.
No, it is a little different. It's got a little more malt, and the hops are a little different than you expect. But I think it's a nice kind of fall winter IPA.
Yeah, you get some nice. There's some nice sweetness, maltiness on the backside of it. Finishes out smooth and clean, and kind of sweet. And even the IPA, the bitterness of it's not your typical IPA. It's kind of more floral, herbal, I guess you could say, notes to it than your citrusy notes to it.
Yeah, it's very herbal. Yeah, it's very herbal. And then of course you've got that rosemary in there as well.
Almost kind of have little hints of some mint or some minty flavoring to it
Hmm.
too, in a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, certainly a lot of herbal notes in that beer.
It's good. I like it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to see him come out. I'd like to see him come out with a 6 pack of that alone and the milk stout that was in that one also.
Yeah, I agree. I buy both in 6 packs. I think they're both great beers.
Or better yet, just come out in a 12 pack of 6 of each
Yeah,
instead
there
of
you go.
throwing in the hoppy wheat and the pale ale, since you can get those anyway.
Yeah, yeah, they do those on those packs. They give you two of their regular beers, and then they put in two of those tasting room beers. So, but yeah, I would like to see just a half a dozen of each of the tasting room. For me, I think would be awesome.
I assume they do that because they don't make enough to distribute full 6 packs of each.
That's definitely possible.
So they do 3 and 3 and then throw in some of their standards.
Oh,
Probably a way to move some of their standards that may not go off the shelf quite as fast as what they maybe normally used to,
hmm
I guess. Who the hell knows?
I got to tell you, this beer just, I mean, every time this is the third one of the 4 pack that I've had, and it just knocks my socks off. It is just incredible.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I'm hoping, which I'm almost positive it will. We usually pretty much get all of Shafley stuff here.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah, the bourbon barrel notes aren't huge, but they are there. They're just in a very subtle way. It's just a great big imperial stout. Um, there's certainly a certain amount of sweetness. You're going to get some. I personally get some dark chocolate notes, um, some warm vanilla. Um, there's definitely some caramel going on as well. But it's that finish. Sometimes imperial stouts can get a little cloyingly sweet if it's not done right. And here with that bourbon barrel, right at the end is where you feel the oak, and it just helps dry it up so it doesn't linger too sweet on your palate.
Now, is that a series that they're going to come out with throughout this year with different
I I
types of
think so.
beers?
From what I understand, it's going to be rotating beers.
So probably about every 3 months and come out with maybe 4 in the series for the year or something like that, maybe.
I don't know exactly. There is an article on it that might explain it more, but yeah, I think they are going to do more of them.
Okay.
But this
Well,
one, I mean, this one is incredible. So I mean, they certainly set the bar high. This one is just amazing.
so I said, yeah, I went to Mother's last night. Did you hit any other breweries or just go to some pubs and little
Yeah,
local
actually, Mother's
breweries?
was the only brewery we got to last night. We hit a few. My friend had been living out of town for a while. It's the first time he'd been back to Springfield in several years, so he wanted to hit a few places that he used to go to, and he's not a craft beer drinker, so I just kind of went with it. We just kind of went out drinking and had a good time and just bullshitted most of the evening.
That's good. Sound like a much needed and good night out then.
It was a lot of fun. I unfortunately a couple of places we went to didn't carry any craft beer, so I drank a lot of bad beer over the evening, and I could really feel the difference. I mean, if you drink too much, you're going to get a hangover or feel bad no matter what you're drinking. But there is a difference when you drink beer like that. I mean, you can really feel those adjuncts the next day. I mean, I never got sick per se, but I could tell my body was really feeling it. I mean, my tummy would just kind of rolling around thinking, wow. But yeah, and if you have, 4 or 5 or even 6 craft beers, I don't feel that way the next day.
Yeah. Now, do you at any point when you run into that situation just do like bourbons or whiskeys instead?
Sometimes, but I knew we were going to be out for a while, so I just it was kind of one of those win in Rome situations. That's what they had, and the evening was more about just bullshitting than actually the specifics of what we were drinking.
Right.
So I said, oh, what the hell? If that's all I got, that's what I'll drink. But boy, and it wasn't. It was okay at the time. The problem is, I ended up drinking more because it was, the beer is so light. It's very watery. So I ended up drinking more. If I was drinking actual craft beer, I wouldn't have drank as much because you drink craft beer slower.
Right. Or at least you typically do anyway, I guess.
But I was, like I said, I mean, it was New Year's Eve. We hadn't seen each other in a while, and my wife and him and I, we were just bullshitting the night away. So, and under those circumstances, I tend to drink more anyway.
That's good. Yeah, those are much needed nights at times to do that.
Yeah, my wife doesn't really go out at all. So it was she doesn't usually go to the bars when I go out, so it was that was interesting. And I haven't got out much at all recently either. And when I do go out, it's usually if I go out on a Saturday or a Sunday, even it's usually about midday. I'm usually like a 3 to 7 drinker. I'm a happy hour drinker. I
You're
don't
right in that
usually,
time frame then.
yeah, and I don't usually stay out late. Even like I said, if I go out and there's that Show Me Brewing, that's right. I mean, it's 5 minutes from my house. So sometimes on the Saturday, I'll go out there mid afternoon and have 1, 2, or 3 even. But they're close to home and it's in the afternoon. That way I can come home and get comfortable for the evening. But that's the first time in gosh, well, it's first time in 10 years since we've done out on New Year's, but it's been even longer than that since I actually, was out at midnight.
Yeah, it was kind of a nice change too. I was kind of actually somewhat enjoyed being home last night, not doing anything.
Well, that's probably what we'll end up doing next year. We'll get back to our routine, but I think we both felt we had to just kind of do something to get out of the rut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's nothing like just sitting home in your jammies and relaxing. It's one reason I don't get out much is I just like to be home and relax.
Except for you probably don't normally have jammies on though, do you?
Well, actually it's during the winter time. Yeah, I've got some jammies on now, but yeah. Typically, I'm just hanging out in my shorts.
Yeah, it might be a TMI type thing there.
Yeah, I'm a boxer briefs kind of guy, so I just hang out in my boxer briefs. Sometimes I got a t-shirt on, sometimes not. That's why you or other folks will call me want to do a video. I say, okay, let me get a shirt on, and they'll laugh at me. Aren't you dressed all the time? Nah, as soon as I get in the house, man, I am naked. I just take everything off. When I get home from work, I mean, I just start stripping off the second I walk in the door. First goes the shoes, and then the shirt, and everything just comes off, man. I get comfy.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one.
Oh, so any last tasting notes on your particular beer?
Nope, no, not really. Not anything that I haven't already touched on anyway.
But
not your normal IPA. You get the more herbal, kind of minty flavor. Definitely taste some of the rosemary in it, and it's nice maltiness. Also, it's a very well balanced IPA. Not too hot forward.
It's a good IPA for the season, right?
Yeah, I would say it's not your typical
so the very
summer IPA.
Over the last couple of 3 years, I guess it's become trendier to make the beers lighter in body and use those big, those big tropical fruit hops, which are great in the spring and summer. But when you get into fall and winter, for me anyway, I want an IPA with more meat on its bones, and that's a good one for that because it's a heartier IPA, but it's still plenty hoppy.
I would agree. Yeah, that's a good assessment, I think. Definitely more, I would agree, definitely more of a winter cold month type IPA than your summer fruitier, citrusy IPAs that you typically get.
Well, speaking of cold weather beers, I mean, and this Imperial Stout is definitely made for that. I mean, I mentioned chocolate, vanilla, You certainly feel some roasted barley notes. I mentioned some caramel, I believe. Uh, you may also get some dark fruit notes. I mean, I personally can pull out some raisin in here. Um, a beer this complex, you're going to get a lot of stuff every time. Like I said, this is the third of the four that I've had, and every time I popped it, I found a new flavor. So, whatever you taste in a beer like this isn't wrong. It's big, it's bold, it's complex, it's just beautiful. So, we're having technical difficulties, so I'm going to shut down this live video. But we wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. Todd, any last words?
Oh, Happy New Year. Hope everybody has a good year and better than last for everybody. And cheers.
Happy New Year, y'all. And the Beer Whisper, this session is closed, man.